Namaste everyone. In today's video, we're going to focus on Muni Patanjali's Yoga Sutra 3.15. Now in this particular Yoga Sutra, Muni Patanjali is explaining to us the reason there are differences in each of the transformations and all the different processes of Prakriti. And therefore, in our understanding of these transformations, how we need to adjudge and understand things better. So now let's take a good look at this sutra and start understanding it word by word and step by step. So the sutra itself goes Kramanyatvam Parinamanyatve Hetuhu. Alright, so this is the sutra itself, and please feel free to go back, pause it, listen to it again if you need to. Now, moving on to the words and the different parts of the sutra. The first word here is kram. Kram is a pretty important word because it indicates a particular sequence or order of things. This is even a word that we use very commonly in today's day and age, even in Hindi and Sanskrit, and therefore kram indicates just that order or the sequence of certain things. Now, coming to the next word, we have anyatvam. Anya refers to other and tva is the quality of or ness, N-E-S-S. So the differentiation or the different quality is indicated by anyatvam. Then coming to the next word, there is parinam. And parinam is a word we've been experiencing a lot in the previous sutras, which basically refers to the transformation or the result. And finally, the last two words are anyatva again, which refers to the differentness, the otherness. And finally, the last word is hetuhu, and that means the cause. Alright, so now that we have each of the meanings of the words, let's start understanding what is the basic meaning of this sutra. So the sutra is trying to tell us that the reason each of the transformations and the reason all the results are different is because of a difference in the sequence of its potentialities and the causes. So he's trying to indicate that the sequence is everything. The way in which certain things line up, the kram of that is going to determine how that potentiality or the parinam turns out. And so it's like a little bit of cause and effect happening here, where the more there are differences in the causes, the effects are going to be different. It's similar to how all of us are as people. All our stories are different, all our life events are different. The sequences that have led up to this very moment of you watching this video are all different. And therefore the effect, the personality, the kind of people we are is also different. It's in a way one of the laws of nature, one of the very laws of life. But Muni Patanjali is just listing it out here for us so we get a good idea that sequentiality and the sequence or the kram is very, very important. Now that we've understood this, let's go even deeper into the sutra and start understanding what it's trying to say. So this sutra is particularly important because it precedes the sutras of all the vibhutis. 3.16 onwards is a long and lengthy description of the vibhutis or the powers that a yoga sadhak gains if he or she is able to practice sanyam and really focus on their chosen objects of meditation. So after explaining all the processes of yoga, etc., finally it's come down to explaining what happens when you apply these techniques of meditation on certain chosen subjects. And that's why this sutra is very important, because what happens is when yoga sadhaks are actually able to do or attain some of these vibhutis, they appear miraculous. They appear miraculous to us because we don't understand the natural laws by which they are governed. We don't understand how they could have been done. And so to us, it looks like a miracle. It looks like a siddhi, and we don't understand the intricacy involved in how that yoga sadhak reached that process. So as humans are, and human nature is, the minute we don't understand something, we call it superstition, we call it miracle, we call it something beyond normal reasoning. And that's the issue, right? Now, if you look at any of the technological advancements in today's day and age, I've said this before as well, but if you were to take it to any person that, there are a lot of people who still live in remote villages who do not have access to this kind of technology. If you were to introduce it to them, they would be shocked. It would be like a miracle. In fact, if you turn back time and take YouTube or any of these kind of, digital platforms to our grandparents or our great-grandparents, and we tell them that this can be a job and this is what we're going to do through the internet, it's going to sound like a miracle. It's going to sound unimaginable. If you tell them you can video call people on a tiny little phone in your hand, people sitting far away, they're going to say it's not possible, because that time telephones were in use. You had to pay a lot of money to even use the telephones. So it's a little bit unimaginable because the times don't allow for that reasoning. And the current circumstance doesn't support the idea or the existence of that, of that phenomena. And so therefore, because we don't understand it, we label it not possible. Now, here's a good and the bad thing about that. The good thing is we are advancing so quickly in technology and science that hopefully at some point science will catch up with spirituality, and there will be scientific experiments that can verify all of the sutras that already exist in these ancient books. And then hopefully everybody will be able to see the impact of these sutras. But until then, the sad part or the negative part is that until that happens, there's a lot of people who will not even bother to study this just because, we don't believe in it. We just think it's not possible. So that's completely fine if that's your choice and that's your opinion, but that shouldn't prevent us from studying a work or a philosophy or a body of, art, just because we think in our limited understanding that this technique is not possible. And therefore, Muni Patanjali in this Sutra 3.15 is telling us that look, there's certain laws, there's certain things you may not understand because everything is different, every result is different based on the sequence of events that lead up to it. So just the way yogic laws work, they have certain causes which have certain effects. If you study it well enough, you will know what those causes are, and those causes can produce certain types of effects. And that's what we're going to study in the upcoming sutras, how certain causes and laws of yogic philosophy end up producing certain very specific results. And how those results are entirely based on the kram or the sequence of events that led up to them. Alright, so this is what Muni Patanjali is explaining in this sutra. So I request you as we dive into the next few sutras to keep an open mind. Some of it may sound quite imaginative to you, but we just have to keep our minds open, try to learn the sutras as best we can, see what they're telling us, what they're offering, and then take it from there. And the whole time we must remember that maybe these vibhutis are governed by laws we have not experienced yet, which we have not seen yet, and which we do not understand. But hopefully over a period of time, maybe science will evolve enough to verify this for us, and then we can move forward. Although some of us already believe in these practices just because of the logic and sequentiality of the Yoga Sutra, but again, that's a personal choice. So you're free to decide what you believe and what you don't believe. Now that brings us to the end of the understanding of Yoga Sutra 3.15. I hope you found this video informative and helpful. If you have, please don't forget to drop your comments in the comments box below. Let us know what you think. Give this video a big thumbs up, like, subscribe, and share the video as much as you can so it reaches more of your friends and family, especially those who are studying the Yoga Sutras or yoga philosophy. We look forward now to seeing you in the next video, class, or workshop, the links for which are in the description, and we look forward to seeing you in the next one. Until then, take care, and we're going to see you very soon. Namaste.